Welcome back, beer tubers. Ryan here with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for joining me for another beer from the brewery, another sour beer. This is Sour in the Rye, a sour rye ale aged in oak barrels. And it's a big rye beer, it's 7.8%. I've noticed the brewery likes doing rye beers, and I'm a big fan of rye beers, so I'm glad that they're doing a big sour beer like this. I have had this on draft at the brewery when it was released. I believe this is the second time they've produced this beer. This one's not a brewery provision store only release, but you might have trouble finding it outside of California. I remember this one, when I had it, was really high in carbonation on draft and the head stuck around a lot. So we'll see if that happens on this bottle version. See a little bit of alcohol legs. It's a really hazy copper color, really kind of off-white head on there. Rye usually works really well for head retention, and if they use a lot of wheat in there, that kind of helps the stability on these low pH beers. Let's get the aroma on it. Yeah, smells nice and sour. You get a little bit of like that sort of cherry pie filling aroma that you get with some of the bacteria like lactobacillus. Kind of adds a creaminess to it. There's a touch of vinegar, but it's not too, it's like vinegar, apple cider vinegary. Maybe a touch. Maybe it's got like a nice wine fruitiness to it. Vinous quality. A little bit of spiciness. Underneath all that, you get a little bit of that Brett funkiness in there. A little bit of the wet horse blanket, but not too much. It smells like a really nice beer. Let's dig in. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's really nice. Nice and tart up front. Really wakes up your palate. Not quite as mouth puckering as Motherfunker was, but this one's definitely got a good sourness up front. Taste wise, it's sort of like, I like this beer because it's not quite in the Flanders, maybe it's kind of like their version of a Flanders style ale. Well, I mean, in terms of like how they're dealing with using the wild yeast and bacteria, but it does have some goose-like character too, because there's some funkiness in there. You usually don't get a whole lot of funk, that Brett funk on Flanders red ale. So it's a very interesting beer. It doesn't quite fit with either sort of influence, which makes it a really nice, you know, American style wild ale. So I'm gonna sip on this some more, get some more tasting notes. All right, I took a little break from drinking on Sour in the Rye because I was kind of drinking on it and I'm like, this is a little too cold right now. Wasn't getting the malt character I wanted, so let it warm up more. As you let it warm up, definitely getting some of that kind of spicy breadiness from the rye character, certainly present in there. Starting to pick up more of like fruitiness, more like a fruity ester in there too. Sort of like a sweet pear, maybe into like a melon character almost on the taste. It's sort of generic, but not quite generic fruitiness. Something I can't quite pinpoint on there. And then my palate's gotten a lot more used to the tartness up front, which is just really has that cherry pie filling tartness. It's both tart, but then there is a little bit of like a sweetness in there that you might get with the pie filling. Notice the alcohol, it's 7.8%, so it's pretty high up there. You definitely kind of taste that in the very back end, but it's pretty well hidden, especially for such a dry beer. You know, a lot of these sours, there's not a lot of residual sugars left, if any. So they tend to be really dry beers where maybe the alcohol, if it's really high up, can not be as well masked. And typically they're lower ABV beers as well. So this is a really well brewed sour beer from the brewery. It's really nice stuff. It's not ultra complex. I mean, you get a little bit of funkiness on the taste, but not a whole lot. But it's really enjoyable, good summer weather drinking type of beer. Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower ABV might make it a little more drinkable, I think, especially in a 750 format. So I'm going to give this one an A-. I really enjoy it. I think it's going to age really nicely as well. Because I mean, there's a little touch of alcohol on there that kind of wish wasn't there. So, and the whatever, I assume it's not. I assume it's bottle conditioned too, so it should develop a little more too with some age. So looking forward to trying this one further down the line. I think it'll probably develop into an easy A beer as well. So, and another beer from the brewery. I recommend trading for it if you can't get it. It's definitely worth a shot. They're doing some great sours. I've got a bunch of other sours from and that are either I have or I'm picking up through the Reserve Society, and I probably won't get to reviewing them all because they're doing too much, which is awesome. Keep doing it, brewery. Tyler, Patrick, keep it up. So until next time, please comment, subscribe. Cheers.